What's up, everybody? We are live again, waiting for my guest to show up, but just going to start chatting with you guys until he gets here. This is a risky show for me. I am house sitting for somebody in Maui right now. The internet is not the strongest, which is okay. And so we'll see if we make it all the way through without a glitch. Augustus Link is trying to write a theme song for the show, which I really appreciate. Billy Joel themed, but it's been suggested that we take the Billy Joel style track and we lay it over some Nickelback style chords. So if anyone has someone that can mix something like that up, that would be great. And we're dog sitting too.
Introduce her.
Calling her Muffin. That's her nickname.
What's her name?
Shyla.
Hi.
So Max Isaak is going to be our guest today. I'm going to let him introduce himself if he ever gets here. Not known for punctuality. The guy's very, very busy. He's got a lot of things going on, so I'm sure he'll be here shortly. He picked some actual, insane videos to show today, too. Oh, he might be here. He's here. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, awesome. What's up, man? We were just chatting about someone started writing lyrics for a theme song for the show based on piano.
Oh, wow.
And then they said we should lay it over Nickelback style chords because basically my nickname has become Nickelback online due to my hair. So
That's pretty high praise for you. I have my laptop pulled up in case I need to do any type of thesaurus or dictionary work, but I know who Nickelback is. In fact, you know what I'm going to do real quick before we do this thing is I'm just going to make sure that I got all the juice. Everything is perfect because this is a pretty big deal for me.
Oh, it's a big deal for you to be on my show with we got 8 people tuned in right now, which actually that is a big deal for me. So any number above 1, potentially my mom watching or something, is awesome.
Or what if it was your brother and stepfather who are now my best friends?
Yeah, so quick story. Max sends me a random photo. He's out skiing. Were you at Sugarloaf or something? Sugarloaf.
Oh, wait, no. We were at Sunday River.
Sunday River. Anyway, everyone in the Northeast, where Max is from, goes to the same 3 mountains, essentially, to ski. But he strikes up a conversation with a random person, similar to in the song Piano Man, striking up conversation. And the random person ends up being my stepdad and brother. They don't know each other. I've known Max for a few years, and obviously my family forever. And the two meet on a mountain. What are the chances of that?
It was great. The way that all happened was kind of random because, there's 7 layers of separation between people in CrossFit. And so we actually started talking about Scarborough, Maine. And
wait, why did you start talking to them? Why did you just talk to random people?
Because that's what nice people do.
Is
it? Well, yeah, it was a perfect spring skiing day. So everybody was out having some beers, having some water, of course, with the beer. And so I just started talking to the 2 guys next to me. And your brother works for Texas Instruments.
He does.
And so I was like, man, my TI 83 Plus was one of my most coveted items in high school because you could download these games.
Oh, dude, I had all the games too. We're about the same age, so I had I had the Snake. I had everything that people would program on those calculators.
Oh, TI 84. Wow. Maybe I was out of high school for the TI 84. I just saw that come through.
We were the 83 for sure.
83 plus.
Yep.
So anyway, we talked about that. Then we talked about Scarborough. Then from Scarborough, talked about what we did. My wife and I running CrossFit gyms and PT practices. Your stepfather says, my son runs a number of gyms as well. I'm like, okay, well, I must know who this person is. And at this point, your brother only had on his goggles and helmet. He rips off the goggles and helmet. He's got a nice flow of hair. I'm like, I can see the family resemblance.
Yeah, we do look
I was
like,
are you in Nickelback? But no, he's not.
Yeah, right.
He works, So anyway, that was that.
That's so funny, man. That's that blew my mind when I saw that. I was like believing that we actually do live in a simulation after that happened. I was like, there's no way this is chance. That's so wild.
Oh,
anyway,
my wife thinks that every place that I go to, I run into somebody that I know. So I think it is probably a simulation. We'll try the Truman Show thing later. Anyway, I'm so happy to be here.
So for those who are watching that watch the show somewhat regularly but don't know who Max is, Max, who the hell are you?
Co-owner of CrossFit Tilt. We run a number of gyms in the greater Boston area.
How many now?
So
how many?
We have 4 gyms right now, and we're opening 2 more in the next 3 to 6 months.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
And that's what you spend the majority of your time doing, bouncing around the gyms. Are you like big picture guy, or what are you doing in the gyms?
Yeah, I am the big picture guy right now. So my biggest goal right now is expanding our business, getting into some other areas in CrossFit. My wife runs 2 PT practices, B-Form PT. Awesome. And so trying to create some synergy between those brands and just do a bunch of different stuff, which is awesome. It's all in the CrossFit world.
All right. And this show is about us going way back into CrossFit, at least a decade we try to go or more. What year did you get into CrossFit originally? If you remember.
So
you may predate me. I don't even know.
It's 2024. So I think, what was the first year of the Open?
11.
So then, and was the first workout 7 minutes of burpees, or was that that was the second year?
That was second year. The first workout was the power snatch double under couplet, 15 and 30.
Okay, so either the first or second year of the Open was, I think it's the second year. So with the 7 minutes of burpees, because I remember being like, 7 minutes of burpees, like, come on, is this even a workout? And then I did 1 minute of burpees, and I was like, this is really hard. By the way, is this a censored podcast? Just so I know. I'm from New England.
No.
So New Englanders kind of like to swear a little bit. I'm not going to be too crazy. I just need to get the parameters down.
No chance you are my most foul-mouthed guest. There's no chance. So
great.
You'll be
fine. I don't want to beat that. So yeah, 7 minutes of burpees was my first open workout, and man, that's like all you really need to know about CrossFit, right? Like,
that's cool. Wow, that's funny. Funny first workout.
It looks really, oh, wow, it doesn't look that hard. And then you do the workout. Those are the best workouts.
All right. Well, you dug through some stuff, all the stuff you sent me that really struck a chord with you from back in the day. It's funny because I have I think you have a personal relationship in a lot of ways with the stuff you sent me. It's basically mostly Northeast based, which is where you started and I started as well. So I remember a lot of this stuff too. One video in particular, the last one we're going to go into, there are some insane stories I have about that particular clip. Like, I was there for all of that. So I can actually, this is like old, but I can actually put some context to some of this stuff too. And
oh, cool.
Especially for that one clip you sent me. There's an absolutely insane. Is
that me? We're live. It's now my show. So welcome to Talking Shit with Max.
Saved it. Okay, so I warned everyone before you got here. The internet here is super in and out in Maui. You saved the show.
Oh, no, dude, I literally just it tuned out and I said, welcome to Talking Shit with Max. Because that
fine.
Would be, yep.
So be
welcome
prepared
back to my show.
Be prepared to man the ship, because this could go down again on me in a minute. I have Lahaina Maui internet right now. It's not going to be pretty, but we're gonna push through as long as you're good with it. So you're gonna be
I'm good with whatever.
All right, cool. We're going to start with, like I said, a video that goes way back, predates me, or is about the same time I got in, actually, and it is a good one.
So sick.
So King Kong, kind of a benchmark, right? Heavy deadlift, 2 muscle ups, 3 squat cleans, 4 handstand push-ups for 3 rounds. This today is not, it doesn't hold up. Doesn't hold up the test of time. Back then, people couldn't even do one of the 4 of those movements. So back then when we watched this, absolutely insane.
This is what I thought CrossFit was. So when I got into CrossFit, I couldn't work for more than 1 or 2 minutes at a time. You know, like I could sprint and that was kind of it. So this was the workout that I wanted to be able to do. I thought that if I could do this, I'd be the best CrossFitter. Turns out that doesn't hold up either.
Back then, though, you would have been competitive if you could do this, because even if you could barely breathe, you'd have enough skills that others didn't have to be impressive anyway. You'd be able to put on a show. You wouldn't win anything, but you'd still be impressive. Like, this is crazy impressive.
Well, the way that he does this workout, look at how freaking strong he is. Right? I mean, Josh Everett, like, legit, you know, he has this thing where every year he tests to make sure he can still clean 300 pounds and
Someone
watch
else
him
was talking about that recently
and watch him freaking touch and go these cleans
255
with 0 contact on his thigh. I think, right?
Yeah.
No contact.
I mean, he's just pulling right through the hip. Yeah. There's no contact. Yeah.
Beast.
It's really funny because even strict handstand push-ups back then was like almost like the circus trick. And this predates the open. This really predates muscle ups in the CrossFit. It's essentially right after I think it's right after the second CrossFit Games is when this was filmed. And so a lot of these movements were never even tested before. So there's no standard. Like you see him kind of bent arm in the bottom of the muscle up. There's no standard yet, like game standard on the muscle up yet. So what he's doing is like totally legit. He's just doing his best to move through these as fast as possible.
Also, this video is from a seminar.
Yeah, on a lunch break. It's a lunch break.
This was his lunchtime workout.
Yes.
I agree. No touch cleans with 255. It's sick. I just also love the fact that it's at lunch. Like this is like, yeah, you know what? All the members from the seminar are just hanging out, and you're watching Josh Everett do King Kong, a workout that's impossible for 99% of the population at this time.
What's cool about this is I guarantee you, not only are every seminar you go to in CrossFit pretty memorable, but the people who attended this back in 2008 and watched this is
still
now
telling the story.
Absolutely. This is now a core memory for those people. This was so unbelievable back then. To me, it's still, I'll never be able to do King Kong. I'll never be able to move those weights at all. Like I'll never be able to do this workout. So to me, it's still impressive. But at the same time, like 2008, this is like, okay, what are we witnessing right now?
I'm with you, and this still stands up to me. Sure, I saw a video of one of the Mayhem competitors doing 10 rounds of this in however long. Sure, it's fine. This to me, it's like watching ESPN Classic. It's still awesome. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. I watched this video when I got into CrossFit. This is why I sent it. I watched this video when I got into CrossFit, and I made this my goal within the first however many years of being able to do this workout as written. And then I eventually was able to do it. And then that it's an anticlimactic story. That was it. I did the workout and it was great. And then I never did it again.
What was your time?
I have no clue.
It was sub 5?
It was honestly, I think I probably did this workout and was just so psyched that I could even do the workout that even if I had to use a sundial to see how long it took, I didn't care.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good one. I'm surprised no one had brought that video. I mean, not brought to my attention. I'm well aware. I've watched it 1,000 times, but nobody requested it yet because I figured that's up there with me for like the Nasty Girls at HQ, OPT does Helen back in the day. Like to me, that video is up there for me in the ones that I consumed hundreds of times as I was getting into CrossFit right around that time, 2008.
The Nasty Girls video has to be the video.
It is. Well, it's my number 2, actually. It's probably the video, but my number 1 is OPT going sub 7 on Helen.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know why. I think I can relate more to being able to do Helen earlier on in CrossFit, so I could immediately watch that and then go do Helen and be like, how close can I get? How hard can I push? Nasty Girls took me forever to get to the point that I could do that RX, like forever. Yeah. So
I also like how digestible Helen is as a workout. Like, Helen to me just exemplifies what we talked about in the beginning, which is like simple, not easy. You know, like, I'm going to run 400 meters. I'm going to do kettlebell swings and pull-ups. Like, when the pull-up is the most high skill thing, I don't know. I guess you're fucked. It's just such a great workout. Wasn't this the workout that Ben B recruited Fraser based on?
Have you ever seen the Fraser video of this from way back? Fraser does King Kong in like 90 seconds. Like,
was it
probably 2014, 2015? I think it was.
Or was it his other video, Godzilla? The other.
It could be either, but he did King Kong. I remember seeing the video specifically to that. But just to answer the question here, Ben was and probably still is pretty sharp for looking for potential in athletes, and every one of us, including myself and Max, could see what Matt was going to become the moment he got to regionals at Reebok. There was no need to watch a video of King Kong to know that every coach ever in CrossFit wanted Matt at that point.
Yeah, and Matt's time at CFNE, I mean, listen, I was really fortunate to train with Matt when he was brand new on the scene, because we had a good relationship and still do with Danny and Jade at Champlain Valley. And just real ones know I'm wearing.
Yeah, you are. Look at that. Champlain Valley shirt.
This shirt, this is one of my favorites. So, Fraser spent some time at CFNE, and I'm not sure if it was based off that workout, but I hope that you're playing the video later that we have with Fraser in it, because I have some really cool old school Fraser stories. Like, he was the Happy Gilmore of CrossFit. Anyway.
All right, I'll tell you what. We're gonna rip through this next one fast, just because it is one that I've seen a bunch and it's worth watching, just the evolution, and then we're gonna get right to that last clip, so we can spend some time talking about it.
All right. This has to be a top 5 video.
But it is a important video, and it's super impressive. The comments, I'm not going to open up the comments on the show and the YouTube thing, but like, the comments are just shredding him apart for no reps and using a ball to bounce off of and the pull-ups and stuff like that. But this was so early on when he did this to put up a 2-minute Fran time that, and again, it's a kind of predating. I mean, look at the baby face, Josh Bridges. It's predating how strict standards were.
Baby face? Like, I mean,
I know. That's crazy.
But nothing wrong with those pull-ups, are there?
No, there's nothing wrong with them, but they get shaky, and so people start making fun of them in the comments as well. But I mean, that's the normal pull-up trolling bullshit you hear on YouTube anyway.
Well, that's the old school frog kip.
Yeah, it is. That's the kip that we used and that Helen was talking about. Yeah, a bunch of people use that. Spieler used to do that back in the day before butterfly.
Right. They should call that like the cocoon pull-up. You know, it was predating the butterfly, the chrysalis.
I never used that. I went straight from like the back and forth kip to the butterfly, and I never practiced that style. But it works. It works clearly. It's like a tucked butterfly, basically.
Yeah. You know,
these pull-ups are crazy here. Oh dear. Oh,
he's gone, baby. But
he's not stopping. That's the thing, right? That's like old school CrossFit right there. Like, by any means.
I mean, when is this video from?
Oh, 2010 maybe. Let's see if I can find it real quick. 2008. So, I mean, again, basically before the second CrossFit Games. Before the sport's even a sport. I mean, that's so sick to have that capacity back then. Again, like obviously you want to see, it's nice to see movement standards being upheld and whatever, but like that capacity, I don't remember anyone else having that Fran time then. Do you? Or I mean, this is before when I started. It's the year I started.
I didn't even, when I watched this video, it was 4 years old for me, right? But when I watched this video for the first time, I did my first Fran, and I probably did my first Fran in 13 minutes, 12 minutes, right?
Same.
And then I looked up this video and I'm like, holy shit, and I don't know, like I know what you're saying, like the standard side of it, but they also squatted to med balls back in 2008. That was the thing, right? Yeah. Like this is kind of, you have to kind of know your history, right? Like, and that's part of this. Like we just said in the last video, we're like, hey, people really weren't doing handstand push-ups, so there's no standard on the handstand push-up, and there's no standard on the muscle up. I mean, think about when other sports started. Like, think about the way that the refs call a football game now to the way that they called it back when the sport started. The standards have changed. Things have changed, right? So, I don't think a lot of people look back on this video and the first thing they say is like, oh my God, his lockout. I mean, honestly, maybe with Batman and Hiller, now every single video is up for review.
Think about it this way. Break. Think about it this way, though. So I'm totally on your side on this, but think about it this way. If I'm thinking about people that go back and find this now that started CrossFit in the 2000 teens and beyond, they only know of these movements and the standards that came with them from the games and competing, right? So when they go back, they, like you said, they don't know their history. So they only can see it through the frame of those reps don't count through their frame, right? Instead of looking at this like, wow, this video is so influential. It showed us close to what the ceiling is on something like this. So we should be chasing that ceiling, and this is what it is. So our 330 Fran's not really that impressive compared to what it could be. And that would have been really high level in 2008, right? So
yeah,
that's where the importance of this video comes from.
That's such a good point there, right? Like, yeah, now that's all there is. Right. And honestly, it's a great thing because the sport has grown, right? Like what we're watching in these two older videos, the sport is just in its infancy. I mean, I still believe that the sport of CrossFit is in its infancy even right now.
Absolutely.
But even more so, right? Like it was still this backyard brawl, right? And I just love that. It's just such a great thing to look back on.
I mean, that's why I fell in love with it with the games back in Aromas, because the idea of throwing down in that dirt lot and running up the hill and that was like so appealing to me. That's what got me into the games. And now it's slowly and still nowhere near where it eventually will be, whether it dies out or becomes super thriving like the games in terms of its professionalism now. But it's way different. You can't compare what we see at the games now to what we saw in the games in 2009, 2008, all that. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. It's not even close. Yeah. So different appeal too. All right. We're going to get to the goods here. We're going to try to close the show out within the next 15 minutes. So we got 15 minutes to
I had an hour and a half.
Oh no, we don't do that here on this show.
I'm kidding.
No. This is short and digestible content, my friend.
No, I'm kidding. But wait, really quick. You didn't pick my video of the big clean complex.
No, but you can talk about it if you'd like.
I mean, it's a great video. The video that I sent him was a video of Nate Schrader doing the big clean complex at 265.
All right.
I think.
Let me get it for you.
I'm also just going to give a little context about this day. So this was when Progenics was at the tippity top. We're talking PB Smash was the only flavor that you could ever even think of having.
Oh, dude, that's so good.
Right. And, who cares what was really in it? It was amazing. And the whole Progenics crew came to CFNE. So it's guys like, Nate Schrader, the Viking King. I mean, this dude is he's a complete beast. Now, this complex is high hang, squat, clean, squat, clean, push press. Same thing, push jerk. Same thing, split jerk. Hold on for all the reps. Ben Bergeron's done a lot of great things. This is one of the best. This complex
still being done today.
Yes, we'll tell you, what your mental fortitude and thumbs are really like. And also, can we appreciate that his push jerk is essentially a push press? Can we appreciate that there?
He was ahead of his time strength-wise. He was the guy you didn't want to have to face at regionals back in the day.
Dude, I mean, so strong.
Yeah.
So in the background of this video is Kendrick Ferris.
Oh, yeah, I see him. I didn't know that. I see him right now.
So when the Progenics crew came, it was, like I said, Schrader, Kendrick Ferris, Alex Smith, Noah Olson. I think Khalipa was there. Is it Ben Alderman? Am I getting
from the West from California?
Yep, Ben Alderman. All of them came, and it was this massive throwdown for like 3 or 4 hours. And I got to squat with Kendrick Ferris. It was awesome. But the best Kendrick Ferris story.
That was at CFNE?
Yes.
I was there. Yeah. Okay. I was at that event.
Oh.
I competed in the scale division.
No. This wasn't
that's not the
throwdown one? You were thinking about the first competitors competition that was held. Well, hold on. At CFNE. But so this was just a big throwdown. And Kendrick Ferris goes outside, and we're doing the big clean complex. And he says to me, he's like, I only ever do 1 rep. So he did some work with an empty bar. He did a little bit of work at 135. And then he threw on 275. And literally, I mean, he might have done 5 total warm-up reps before putting 275 on the bar. And I believe he got like all the way to like the last set of cleans, and he just couldn't hold on to it. He's standing these squats up like they're air squats.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? But because he doesn't do CrossFit and, he's not used to holding on for all these reps, he couldn't put it together. So Nate Schrader then set the record at 265, which was then broken by Z.A. Anderson, and then I think eventually broken by John Para, maybe, who was another comp train athlete. But I'm sure it's been done at 315. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool backstory on that complex, because it is still being programmed across a lot of platforms today. So that's pretty funny. It's a great endurance barbell test. So
yeah.
Answer a quick question here. Those kipping pull-ups we talked about from the Josh Bridges video, are they going to be allowed at the Cactus Games? Cactus Games is an event that's being held at my Jump Ship Phoenix location. No, those are not allowed. We're making people do chest to bar and a take on Murph to start the event, and you have to do a kipping pull-up with a change of direction at the top. So there's no butterfly allowed. Yes. So that's too similar to a butterfly for me, and there's no change of direction at the top, so those will not be allowed.
Oh, I love it. You're doing a gymnastics kip.
Yep, making them do that, individuals and teams. So
I think that's spectacular.
All right, you ready for the goods, the prime show here? Let's get into it, because it sounds like we both have some significant memories of this that should be shared.
Hell yeah!
All right, so this is the ECC in Boston. What's the name of the venue this was at?
This is at the World Trade Center in Boston.
Okay,
in the seaport.
Yep, in the seaport. So this is the top heat of the final men's event for the championship. I'm in the background. Let's see if I can point myself out with my mouse here. I am in this. Oh, right. Oh, I think that's me right there. The shaved head. So you can see a lot of the purple hats all through here. Those are all the Misfit guys, and I'm in here with no hat, shaved head background. And Joe Carney, who is about 4 athletes down on the left with the purple shorts.
He's your athlete.
He's our athlete. Yeah, he was really, really good. He's one of the best I've ever worked with that never made the games, got super close a few times and never made it, but super talented athlete. Beast. But I'm going to pause it here and talk about this for a second. So that's Joe talking to his judge right here. So the final starts with a bunch of muscle ups. Do you remember this workout? I'm sure we'll see in a second. But final starts with a bunch of muscle ups. Joe jumps up, 3, 2, 1, go, and one of the straps rips off the rig right through, whoop, gone. They put it through backwards is the only thing we could tell. When you put the straps through the buckle backwards, it doesn't grab. So whoever put his rings up, put them up backwards. One of the rings rips right down. He's standing there for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. The camera, I tried to watch it to see if they show it. The camera intentionally like keeps zipping away from him so they don't show the massive fuck up that they have in there with one of the guys in the final standing there like, what am I supposed to do? There's one ring hanging, so they finally get a second ring up and they tell him, just do your best, we'll try to adjust your score after. When like all these guys are suffering 5 minutes deep into the workout and they expect him just to put on some kind of performance by himself at the final. That was obviously, it's a mistake and mistakes happen, but like to then expect him to even do the workout at all, I would just be like, you know what? I'm just not going to go out here by myself and embarrass myself. And like, it's, oh man,
so
I felt
tough.
So bad for him. I felt so bad for him. I don't know. There's no way to come back from it. And he was an up and comer then, really busting his ass to throw down against this insane group of guys who we'll see in a second. And then for that to happen was like, really one of the biggest screw ups I've seen in a live event ever.
So tough. All right, let's take a look at this lineup here because it's a regular who's who of CrossFit.
So there's Joe in the purple. Oh, what's his name? He's from Canada, right there.
Alex Vigneault? No,
it's not Vigneault. It's oh my god, I can't. I'm drawing a blank too,
dude. All right, hold on.
There's Handel. Spencer Handel.
He's good.
Oh, Dominic LaRouche.
Okay.
Oh, we got a little volume here.
Yeah.
8th place, Charles Leduc from CrossFit Reebok Ewell. 7th place.
Look at
Noah Olson from Peak 30.
My God.
CrossFit. 6th place,
Specimen.
Chris Feeler from CrossFit Park City.
The people's champ, Chris Feeler.
Yes, dude.
CrossFit Lindy.
Oh, can we pause this for a second?
Yeah, of course.
CrossFit Rage.
Dan Tominski was such a badass and had he had a great edge to him back in the day as a competitor, and I really like that. I feel like that's just such an important part of competition, he was a super nice guy. I met him a handful of times. He's a great guy, but he just seemed a little more edgy than the rest of the field.
I like to call Dan Tominski passionate. He was a passionate guy. Yeah, when it came to this stuff. But he was nice. He's very nice, very polite, and he had a dark sense of humor at times. He would say some pretty crude stuff, but super nice. Yeah, okay. Not in a bad way. Just guy's humor.
You can handle it. You're from New England.
We all could. We're all from New England. We can all.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Yeah, that's how it was.
3rd place, Austin Meliola from Reebok CrossFit 1. 2nd place,
yeah, Dan
Tommy
was such a beast
from CrossFit, and in the lead, Matt Fraser from Champlain Valley CrossFit.
This is just an insane lineup for what was essentially a slightly larger than local competition.
It was an invitational, though. Remember that, right? So to get
for the elite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, but there was other divisions were there not? Wasn't there partner or some stuff like that? Or was that a different year?
They were also, I believe, an invitation as well, or you just signed up maybe for the team.
Shoulder to overhead, and then again, final.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, believe it or not, at some point, Austin stopped wearing so much compression.
Also, how impressive is it that Tommy Hackenbrook's in 2nd place?
I know. That actually, I forgot about that. That jumped out at me and surprised me when they're like, "Oh, Tommy's in 2nd." I'm like, "Wait, still?"
Look at Matt.
I mean, he is. Yeah, he's still working his way up. He's still raw in his game. Although this is so, I remember as far as Matt goes at the ECC, this is the first time I saw him really start to lay some of his strategic style of competing on the line. So a lot of events, what he would do is he'd try to race out a little bit and then take these big pronounced breaks where he'd watch the rest of the field. And as the rest of the field started to catch him, he'd race out again ahead, and then he'd take these big breaks, and then he'd race out again ahead. So he knew how to pull people out of their comfort zone and make them feel rushed a little more than they should have, and he was able just to recover faster on those breaks. And he really knew how to play that game with people, even around this year and after. But he was very good at getting out ahead and then baiting them.
He was so far above everybody, even at this point. In like, yeah, it was amazing to see.
Right next to him, Chris Spieler.
This is for the podium, though. These guys.
I love how young everybody looks.
Dude. See, look in the back corner. Let's see if we can see it. One ring. Right back there on the right. One ring.
Just watching.
Just standing there.
I loved this event because I just love a good axle bar final.
Oh, yeah. It's totally underutilized.
And so hard.
It makes so that's what's cool about the axle bar, right? Is you don't need as much weight to make the movement feel like it's heavier or more challenging. You don't need to like overload it. You just need to provide that different stimulus, and it makes it so much harder.
Wait till they focus in on Austin doing his deadlifts, and he has like a snatch with grip. Like, it's amazing.
So he basically has to move 1 inch.
Yeah, he's like, so how much shorter can I make the range of motion? Which is smart, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, Noah had a little bit of that too, but not like Fraser in a bunch of different events. Fraser would like sprint out ahead of people at these events and then literally stand there. See, look at him. He's looking over at where people are now. He's taking the lead, and he's just basing his next set of reps off of where everyone else is. He figured out that he could just essentially strategize himself to not blowing up that way.
Dude, I mean, so the first competition that I ever saw Matt Fraser at was the very first ECC, which was held at the Reggie Lewis Center.
I didn't go to that one.
And Matt ruined everybody in that. And the final for that was 5 different open workouts. You would do a piece of every open workout until it was last man or woman standing. And I mean, back then he was driving around in a brown Buick and literally putting his, checks in the back seat.
Yeah, literally Happy Gilmore style, for real, with a large fat dip in his lip.
Yeah,
Wagner. These are so cool. First time seeing CrossFit was Rich doing the Cincos in 2013. That's a very cool time and video to start watching that. What's up, Mitch?
I mean, also watching old school Rich Froning is very similar to watching old school Fraser. People that are just ahead of the game. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, Matt, I feel like an easy way to categorize them is Froning was ahead of the game with movement efficiency, standards, not getting no rep. His skill, when he failed at something, he was able to put it together really quick, faster than the rest of the field. Matt also had some of that going, but there was a lot of other good movers in Matt's time as well. But Matt's conditioning was just a notch above everybody all the time. So Matt kind of won by being able to outcondition and I guess strength even near the end of his career. But like Rich was able to outmove people. I feel like that's the two biggest differences between those two guys' dominance.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, if you're looking at it also maybe from like a programming side, Rich, I feel like, is kind of the king of being a volume guy.
I have to figure Matt was in the same boat though when he came up.
No. He I'm sure he was, but Matt came after Rich, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying is like Rich really popularized a higher volume style training, right?
Dude, I'm no. You're 100% right, to the point I have a whole show planned on that exact topic.
Oh, well,
so
I
have a whole show of Rich planned on that exact topic because that is a very important thing.
It's a really good topic, and I think another really important thing to think about with a guy like Fraser, and because we talked a little bit about earlier, like, was the King Kong video the thing that made Ben recruit Fraser? Listen, I'm sure Matt's had a number of coaches in his career, right? Like throughout the years, I know that he worked with Jade. I know that he's, at some point he did some work with Ben. I think Matt, for the most part, has coached himself.
I agree.
And he has gleaned information from different people. But he is as self-made as I think you can be in this world, and it's crazy to see. Anyway, in this video, this is where you're starting to see like this dude is just the man.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. And every time I saw Matt, from the moment he stepped out on the first regionals floor at Reebok to this and everything else, it was pretty clear what his trajectory was going to be in the sport. It was like, unbelievable.
Can we also talk about, we're talking about Dan Tyminski being a little bit edgy. Like, remember, before Fraser was the GOAT, like he actually was outside of the popular crew. Like, remember that what you're looking at right now is when Reebok was dominated. Right. I mean, Reebok was the brand, and the people that trained at Reebok were the guys and the girls. And Fraser was a Redline guy. Remember, Redline, founded by Matt O'Keefe, that's the OG brand. I mean, this guy, like, if you see what he's wearing, he's top to bottom Redline, and like,
dude, the first two Redline athletes are Matt and my wife.
Right.
So there's
this. There's a cool story about Matt and Reebok, which is just essentially Matt wanted to come and train at Reebok with, all these top level athletes that is competing against people like this. And they tell him like, hey, you're not allowed to come to Reebok unless you wear Reebok stuff.
I remember that.
Peace. Not wearing Reebok stuff. Anyway,
whoa. How did those balloons go up in the background?
You didn't know that you can get a bunch of stuff going on?
No. Here? Oh my God, dude. Okay. I have to turn my settings on. That's funny. Yeah.
We're not talking about the workout. So I'm sorry. I didn't know if that's
not.
Oh, look at that. I talked about the workout and then it shorted out. No, this event was really, really special when it happened, because Ben put on this competition because he wanted to let it be like a spectacle, like letting people enjoy watching really high level athletes, and he wanted it to be different from the games. Because there's a point in time where the games were kind of like just about crushing you. And he wanted to create events that were really fun to watch. And I think that the old ECC achieved this. There was a number of times, I was just talking about that the ECC was really special because it was a showcase. And it was an opportunity for the top level athletes to come to Boston and show their stuff. And Ben would purposely program these workouts to be something that would be fun to watch, where you could see the race, but wasn't going to ruin people.
Right. And I agree.
I also think that this is something that didn't really exist yet, and that I think a lot of competitions do really well. Like, I think Wadapalooza does a good job of this.
Yep.
Like, not right.
They do now. Yep.
Right. And I mean, listen, all we can do is learn, right? So
I'll say this about ECC too, because a lot of people don't realize there was also the birth to two other things. Not only was it a big platform for Fraser to dominate, but it was the birth of Sarah Sigmund's daughter as well. She won that, and no one knew who she was when she came in and won. And they first displayed Noble at ECC. The first opening time that you would see the brand Noble was launched at ECC. And I think the same year of the video we just watched, 2014.
And this is a really great point. At that time, it was such a hot spot. Like, I pulled two videos from CF&E back in the day, and it was this hub. I mean, Noble, Marcus started at CrossFit New England. He was, he was a member. So we were really keyed into Noble. Fun fact, if you go check out my Instagram, Max Isaak, Isaak, you can go back and see that I was in some of the first ads for Noble. And back then they only had size 9s. and I'm a size 11. So I would get the shoe, I would take out the insole, I would stuff them with newspaper for a day or two, and then I would wear them.
That's funny.
Yep. I mean, that they only make, that's what happens. They make sample size.
Yeah.
So, and I was not sample size, but I'm like the stepsisters from Cinderella. I'm going to make it fit.
Stretch the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to call it there. I think we went through a nice blast in the past, and you held the show up while the government of Hawaii tried to cancel me twice while I was on the show. So they tried to shut
my shoulders are tired, but nothing I can't handle.
They shut me down, but you made it happen. So thanks so much for jumping on. And honestly, great picks from the videos today. A couple things I hadn't seen probably since I had been there. So that was like, when you sent me that last one, I was like, holy shit, we are totally bringing this up. It was a really influential time in CrossFit, not only just the Northeast, but it spread across the whole thing. So pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for coming on. See all you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, the normal crew. We had like 15, 16 people on at one point. So that's
all right,
cool.
I'm going to leave you with this.
I was gonna do something. There it is. That's the end.
Later.